Good morning, Doctor. Good morning, my friends. My name is Sabri. The title of the presentation, Multi-Object Tracking by the Flying Cameras based on the forward, backward interaction. Prepared to Prof. Dr. Farbod, Razzazi. Outline, introduction, proposed method, forward, backward interaction, FBI, tracking algorithm, detection and tracking, D and T, improved association, conclusion, and summary. Introduction. Understanding what is the currently done by the objects moving inside a scene can be reconducted to the analysis of their trajectories over time. In fact, trajectories include spatial and temporal information, and once suitably analyzed with respect to the structures of the environment, it is possible to infer behavioral aspects. For example, if a car is moving in a line of the speed of the 80 mph, we think at a normal situation, vice versa, if the speed is exactly the same, but the line is the one used in the case of the emergency and even more in the wrong direction. We are as the persons of the clear arming situation. Proposed methods, two different processing chains can be identified, namely a forward chain and a backward chain. In the more details, the forward chain in the upper part of the figures combined of the detection stage in orange with the tracking based on the local data association in the blue. The detection models aims at the identifying for each frame the objects moving in the scene at the current frame, that's so-called globals. Look the figures 2, overview of the purpose approach, forward and the backward chain, orange and blue. In order to separate it, the ego motions from the movement, the objects we exploit primary cameras composition algorithm aiming at the estimating the direction and the magnetic of the camera's movement between the two consistent frames. Thus, the two approaches based respectively on the extraction of the foreground mask and the extraction of the silent point are combined. In both methods, the tracking is based on the local data association, which performs the best possible association between the set of the globals output of the detection and the current frame and the set of the objects tracking until the previous frame output of the tracking at the previous frame. The purpose method combines this forward tracking with the backward tracking, which is activities only in those cases in which the local data association is not reliable enough. Interaction. An interaction between the forward and the backward chain in the figure 3. In the figure 3, an example shows the interaction between the forward and the backward chain in starting from the current state, namely from the object tracked until the previous frame t-1. C box 0 state the forward chain is activated with the startup setting. The confidences in the local data association is the low C box 1 forward chain. Thus, the backward chain is activated so as the refine configuration parameters with the time is improved the detection step and thus increasing the reliability in the local data association. See box 2, backward chain. Given the new set of the parameters, the forward chain is activated again and again until confidence is not sufficient enough. See box 3, forward chain. The main advantage deriving from the introduction of the backward chain is the tracking model does not need to perform its choice blindly, but instead is guided by the tracking itself. In other words, the introduction of the backward chain allows to the merge in our approach, a tracking by detection with the detection by the tracking. Tracking algorithm. The aim of the tracking algorithm is to draw frame by frame the trajectories of the object moving in the scene by performing the best possible association between the set of the box. The tracking is performed is two steps by the combined forward tracking with the backward tracking. Forward tracking performs a local data association in more details. The algorithms computes a similarity matrix S. We are the generic elements S for I, J is a measure of the similarity between the I box, the I and the J object, OJ. The commutation of the S for the IJ, the maximum value of the matrix S. S max equal S for the I max, J max. It is iteratively search for the in case S max is the higher than a given threshold T1, then the object OJ max is associated to the block BI max. Not that condition S max less T1 only arises when the detection is very accurate. There are not any errors of the split and merge, and thus the confidence is sufficiently high. An example of one association is shown in figure. Blue fixed T1 to the 0.8. The algorithm computes S and defines the maximum value, namely S for 0 of 0, D 0 of 95, thus is associated the box B0. The object of the O0, B0 and the O0 are not excluded from the analysis and cannot be further association to any object and box respectively. Look the figure is the situation, not backward chain needed to be activity seen. The confidential but the local data association is sufficiently high is not is in both of the association. In the case confidence is not sufficient high, namely as max less T1 and detection is taken and the backward chain is the instead value. Backward tracking. It is activated manually in the following three situations. Number one, a split occurs, namely a situation in which a single object is the parameterization in two or the more boxes. Two, a marriage occurs, namely a situation in which two or more objects are the merged in the single box. Three, the association is one-to-one, but the confidence is not sufficiently high. Tracking algorithm. The backward chain is activated trying to merge such boxes in the order to achieve. Thus, the following action are the performed. The threshold N is tracking include in the foreground allows some pixels between the boxes that have been wrongly included in the background. The radius of the dilation kernel K is increasing, trying to merge the blocks. Both the radius EPS and the minimum numbers of the neighbors PTS increasing, so the increasing the size of the cluster to be considered. Detection and tracking. Figure 6 is shown the first row shows the output of the both detection and the tracking after the first forward chain. The similarity matrix on the right shows that a split has been detection. The toolbox B0 and B1 are both similar to the object or one, thus algorithm backtracking and the background chain is the activities. The result of the detection with the new operating configuration are reported in the second row. Only one box is found and the similarity value between such box B0 and the object O1 is the 0.95 higher than T1 0.8, thus the association is performed. Figure 6. Resolution of the split error. The first row show B0 and B065 and B095, T1 08, T2 03. Figure 8. The algorithm acts as the follows. One is the areas of the box is lower than the one of the object, then the rules of the refining point. Adopt for the solving a split is applied, otherwise the rules. Said refining to adopt of the solving the merge is employed to consider that during step 1 the wrongs detection could have taken. We evaluated the new similarity and we compare is with respect to the previous one. I needed in the case a new iteration required since the similarity is lower than the T1 to execution may rises I. The similarity value increases, thus the same refining rules applied again. The similarity value, thus the difference refining rules applied and the example in the show in figure 8, where the size of the object over estimation during the detection step, the backward chain is activated. The refining to rules applied is so increasing the similarity as of 0, 0 from 0, 6, 6 to the 0, 96. Conclusion. We proposed a method for the tracking moving objects with the flying cameras equipped by the government. The main novelty of the proposed approach is the introduction of the detection and the tracking algorithm based on the test and the set procedure, where the choice of the optimal parameter is adaptively performed, such as technique allow to adapt the algorithm to each scenario, solving the problem with the configuration of the environment not known period. The performance, both in the term of the accuracy and efficiently confirm the effectiveness of the proposed approach, the possibility to the work in the real time. Our system on the models demonstrated that the system is suitable for the real situation, awareness, and behavior analysis application. Summary. In this report, it has been observed that includes temporal information in the detection step indirectly, so it happens So it happens in the GDA Global Data Association, or the directory is in the D and T detection and the tracking. And it's the DTA comparative detection and the tracking method. In more details, where the purpose approaches acts into two-step forward chain. Given a frame, detection is performed by the combining slant points and the foreground mask-based methodologies. A tracking based on the local association is performed. 3. In the cases the achieved result is reliable enough, then the next frame can be processed. Otherwise, the backward chain is also put in the loop. Backward chain is the confidence about data association is evaluated and the other automatically adjust the operation parameter. Then the forward chain is performed again with the new configuration started. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you.